Okay, picture this for a moment. You know, the schools, colleges, universities, they're everywhere, right? Foundational.
Mm-hmm.
And they hold just a huge amount of sensitive stuff, student records, all that research data. You'd think they'd be locked down tight, digitally
Yeah, I
speaking.
hope so, yeah.
But, well, here's the thing that's kind of alarming. These places, they're increasingly becoming major targets for cyber
A
attacks.
really growing problem.
So today, that's what we're digging into. This urgent issue. Cybersecurity in UK education, looking ahead to, well, now, basically 2025.
Right.
Our mission really is to unpack the vulnerabilities, the risks involved, and maybe find some opportunities for them to get, more resilient.
Definitely need that resilience.
Yeah, and we've got some good sources for this deep dive. There's a recent ESET report that's based on their own research with Censuswide, plus key UK government data, and even some reporting highlighted in The Sun.
A good mix of perspectives there.
Exactly. We want to give you, the listener, a really clear picture of why this matters so much right now. And honestly, some of the numbers, the sheer scale of it that these sources show, it's quite eye-opening.
It really is. Let's get into it.
Where do we even start? The scale seems immense.
But maybe with just how common this is, it's not like, rare events.
Okay.
ESET's research found that, get this, 73% of educational institutions have had at least one cyber attack or breach in the last 5 years.
73%. Wow, that's nearly 3/4. That alone is huge.
It really sets the scene, doesn't it?
It does. But how does that stack up against, say, other sectors, like
Yeah.
businesses in general? Is education getting hit harder?
Oh, that's where it gets really stark.
Yeah.
Government data, just looking at the last year, paints a very clear picture.
So, okay.
Secondary schools, 60% reported an attack.
Wow.
Further education colleges, like sixth forms, 85%.
85.
And higher education universities, 91%.
91%. Good grief.
Now compare that to UK businesses overall, just 43%.
So education is being targeted almost twice as much as the average business. That's a massive difference.
It absolutely is.
Yeah.
They are disproportionately under fire, no question.
And it's not just sort of occasional hits, is it? The report mentioned something about the intensity?
Yes, the persistence of the threat, particularly in higher education.
Okay.
Among those universities, a really significant number, 30%, said they were experiencing breaches every single week.
Weekly.
Weekly. That's not just an attack, that's like a siege. It's constant pressure.
Wow, that level of intensity. What does that actually mean for people? For you, listening.
Exactly. That's the critical question, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you're a student, your records could be exposed. If you're a parent, you're trusting the school with your child's data.
Or an educator handling sensitive information day in, day out. Or even just someone who cares about privacy.
These aren't just abstract stats. They directly impact people's lives, their learning, the basic functioning of these institutions.
It's a threat to the whole system, really. The trust and the continuity.
So why? Why are they so vulnerable? What are the underlying issues here? The report must touch on that.
Oh, it does. And financial challenges are, perhaps unsurprisingly, a really big part of the story. Budget restrictions come up again and again.
Okay.
And get this, 7% of institutions reported having zero annual budget allocated to cybersecurity.
7%. No budget at all.
None whatsoever. It's like leaving the front door unlocked and hoping for the best.
That's hard to believe, actually, in this day and age. So if budgets are that tight, what about insurance? Are they covered if something does happen?
Well, that's another sticking point. Cyber insurance adoption is patchy, especially in schools.
Oh, patchy.
The report found only 44% of primary schools, and even fewer, just 36% of secondary schools, actually have cyber insurance.
Less than half and barely over a third. Why not? Is it just cost?
Cost is definitely a factor. 28% think it's too expensive, but it's more complex.
Okay.
37% said they'd rather put the money directly into cybersecurity tools, prevention rather than cure.
I see the logic, but...
Yeah, right. And then there are trust issues. 33% worry if the insurance would actually pay out when needed. 32% find the policies themselves unclear.
So confusion and maybe skepticism, too.
And then 18% just flat out said they don't understand the value of it. So
Well-
there's an awareness gap there, too.
It really makes you wonder if they fully grasped the potential financial hit without insurance. Okay, so budget is tight, insurance is patchy. What about the basics, the actual security practices on the ground?
Yeah, that's another critical piece. And the research uncovered some pretty concerning gaps there, too.
Like what?
Like basic cybersecurity software, a third, 33% lack it. And
Wow.
strong password policies, 35% don't have them enforced.
That feels like Security 101.
It really does. And then there's more advanced stuff like managed detection and response MDR.
Right, that's the sort of 247 monitoring service.
Exactly, the proactive threat hunting. Using AI and humans, a huge 79% haven't implemented that.
Nearly 80% lack that proactive layer.
And looking ahead, with AI-driven threats becoming more sophisticated, 21% of institutions said they feel unprepared to deal with those. AI making phishing scams even more convincing or finding vulnerabilities faster.
Okay, so when you put all that together, the tight budgets, the low insurance uptake, these foundational security gaps, it sounds like, well, a recipe for disaster.
It really does create a perfect storm scenario. It
Yeah.
essentially leaves the door wide open for attackers.
And are they walking through that door? What's the most common way in?
Oh, absolutely. And the number one method, by a long shot, is phishing.
No surprise there, I guess.
No, but the scale is still shocking. Government data says 97% nearly all further and higher education places encountered phishing, and 89% of primary and secondary schools.
Almost everyone is getting these malicious emails or messages.
Exactly. Trying to trick staff, students into giving up logins, clicking bad links, often pretending to be someone official like IT support or admin. It works.
And when it works, what happens? What are the real impacts?
They can be severe. Around 40% of the further and higher education institutions reported actual negative outcomes from breaches.
Such as,
Compromised systems, definitely. Accounts being taken over and used for criminal activity.
okay,
And the financial side.
yeah.
The Sun newspaper cited figures suggesting the average ransom demand for schools has hit, well, a massive 5.1 million pounds.
£5 million for a school.
And the recovery costs, even if they don't pay the ransom, are nearing 3 million pounds on average. Cleaning up the mess, restoring systems.
Those are crippling numbers for any organization, let alone a school or college.
Absolutely devastating. And it just hammers home, these aren't minor IT glitches.
No, clearly not. What's the bigger impact beyond the immediate technical and financial hit?
Well, you're looking at operational continuity being threatened. Could lessons be canceled? Can the school even function?
Right.
There's massive data loss potential. And maybe most importantly, it eats away at trust. Trust between the institution and its students, parents, staff.
And that trust is so hard to win back once it's broken.
Incredibly difficult.
Okay, this sounds quite grim, but surely there must be some positive signs. Are institutions waking up to this?
Yes. Thankfully, it's not all bad news. There are encouraging signals in the report.
Good. Like what?
Well, for one, 76% believe their staff actually have good cybersecurity awareness. That's a decent baseline.
Okay, that's something to build on.
And they are planning action. 55% intend to increase staff training the next year. And 51%, just over half, plan to expand their cybersecurity tools.
So investment is planned, training is planned, that's movement.
It definitely is. But as Jake Moore, he's a global cybersecurity advisor, pointed out in relation to the report, while that commitment is good, he said, there's still more that could be done.
Right. It's a start, but maybe not enough yet given the scale of the threat.
Precisely. Awareness is rising, but the action needs to perhaps accelerate. One interesting point is the view on professional help.
Like those managed services, the MDR stuff.
Exactly. A really high number, 77%, said they see the value in managed cybersecurity services like ESET MDR. They recognize the need for that 247 expert layer.
So they see the value, but implementing it, is that where the budget issue comes back in?
It seems so. Almost half, 47%, said they'd need to show clear evidence of financial impact, basically. Prove the cost of a breach to get more budget approved by leadership.
So they need the bad thing to happen, or nearly happen, to justify the spending to prevent the bad thing. That's a difficult cycle.
It is. And it really reinforces one of the report's main takeaways. Cybersecurity can't just be seen as an IT cost center.
It needs to be.
A strategic investment. Something planned for, budgeted for, right at the highest level of the institution, integrated into overall strategy.
Okay, so shifting that mindset is key. What specific practical steps do the reports recommend for institutions to actually build that resilience? What should they do?
Well, several clear recommendations come through. First, given how huge phishing is, they need better email filtering, advanced solutions, and regular awareness training, crucially, for both staff and students.
Makes sense. Keep the malicious stuff out and make people savvy to spot what gets through.
Yeah.
What else?
Patching. Keeping all systems updated. This seems to be a particular weakness in primary school, so a real focus needed there. Close those known security holes.
Basic hygiene, but essential.
Absolutely. Then, planning for the worst. Having an incident response plan, knowing exactly what to do when an attack happens, and testing that plan regularly. Don't wait for a real crisis to find out it doesn't work.
Right. Practice the fire drill before the fire.
Exactly. And think about the supply chain. All the software and services schools buy in. They need rigorous checks. Assessing the risk from third-party vendors is vital. One insecure supplier can compromise the whole institution.
That's a big one, often overlooked.
It is. And finally, underpinning all of this, ongoing mandatory cybersecurity training for all staff, and where possible for students too, build that security culture.
So it becomes everyone's responsibility.
Precisely. And the foundation for all this, recognizing cyber is critical and funding it properly. Tools, training, maybe insurance.
So boiling it all down, the core actions are get the budget, consider managed support like MDR, train everyone constantly, look seriously at insurance, and have a tested plan B for when things go wrong.
That's a pretty good summary. It's about building layers, being proactive, not just reactive.
Okay. So as we wrap this deep dive up, it really feels like UK education is standing at a cybersecurity crossroads. There's definitely growing awareness, which is good,
The needle is moving.
but the reports we've talked about today make it crystal clear that, well, much more significant strategic action is needed to really protect our schools, our colleges, our universities.
The risks are just too high to ignore.
Absolutely. And maybe a final thought for you listening. If the trust, the very continuity of our education system is potentially on the line here, how might knowing all this maybe change your own approach to digital security?
That's a great question.
Seeing the scale of the threat to these big institutions, maybe it makes you think twice about your own passwords or clicking links. Or perhaps it even inspires you to, I don't know, ask some questions. Advocate for better protection at your kid's school or your local college, the places that matter to you.
Food for thought, definitely. It impacts everyone.
Something to think about and maybe something to act on.